Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Tom Clancy's The Division. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, it's time to go to the hospital. Let's get to it. Madison Field Hospital is one of the 7 legendary missions that's available, and if you're going for the Fang shield, or if you're just trying to get an exotic cache, this is certainly one that appears to be easy and short, that you could do it very quickly. In terms of legendary missions, I think this one is one of the shorter ones. However, that does not make it easy. In fact, most of the encounters are relatively difficult. One right around the checkpoint is extremely difficult and has multiple waves in it. So what do we need to do in order to get through this successfully? Okay, first off, if you do not have a pre-made team of 4, you're going to want to matchmake and get a team of 4 agents. Now, if you do or don't have a pre-made team, it won't matter in the end. You'll still be able to do it. If you have a pre-made team, you already know what everyone is running, you already know what people are doing, and the communication is generally a little bit better. If you're matchmaking, people may or may not be on the mic, they may be team playing, or they may be trying to hero the mission, and that is certainly not a good thing. It is very much a team-based mission. Now, could you do it by yourself? Certainly. It will be very, very difficult, and going down is extremely punishing because there is only one checkpoint. So you go from the start. If you die before the checkpoint, you go back to the start. You get to the start, which is around the middle, and then if you die anywhere after the checkpoint, you have to go back to the checkpoint and start from that point. So very, very punishing for wiping. And that is one of the most important things not to do. Do not wipe. If you have 3 people down, it's very important for that last person to get everyone back up quickly. As such, I recommend everyone use Recovery Link so that if you were in that situation, that you're able to bring people back up. Obviously, it is important not to put yourself at risk, because even if you are the designated tank, it's important not to go down. Now, team composition. You're going to want 1 or 2 tanky DPS. You're going to want 1 dedicated healer, and that is the most important position on the team. If you have a reclaimer, that is huge, and that works incredibly well in any of the legendary missions. And then either 1 or 2 DPS. Now, potentially you could have a skill-based DPS, but a firearms-based one, I think, is the best option. So have 1 dedicated healer, so 1 skill-based member. Reclaimer is preferred, but if not, it could be any electronics-based, either high-end or Firecrest, or a electronics-based Final Measure, or anything electronics-based where you have 9,000 electronics or close to that, and then you have 9,000 stamina, Predator's Mark for defense, or Striker for the tanky DPS, and then DPS or debuff for, say, a Sentry Call, or a Striker, or whatever, a firearms-based DPS. So when you go in there, you're going to want to be not next to each other, but relatively close. If you can kind of spread out a little bit and still be in that support station range, that is ideal. And it gives you a little bit different angles on guys. So if they're focused on one member of your team, the other members of the team are free to shoot. And that is one of the most important things. And you're going to find out that these encounters are very fluid. How it plays out for me is going to be different than how it plays out for anyone else. Positioning, how close you are to the enemies, and how much damage you're doing, how much aggro you're drawing, that is all going to play a role into who the enemies are going to focus on and for how long. So if you're the tanky DPS, you want to gain everyone's attention, if at all possible. Have them shooting at you, get into cover. Everyone else, while that focus is on the tank, pour on the DPS. And then when the focus changes, then the tank can come back out, get the focus again, and rinse and repeat until you burn them all down. Speaking of burning them all down, if you do have a reclaimer on your team, then you can have the reclaimer run a pulse as well. The pulse will turn into a mega pulse. It will max out your crit chance and greatly increase your crit damage to make it much easier to burn down the enemies. And with 3 or 4 people with that pulse, it is going to make a huge difference. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to ring the bell before you leave to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
An agent has left your team.
Careful, coming.
We need somebody to start calling the target. Concentrate on whatever we think is closest to us. No, no. All right, motherfuckers. Try to get off the shot.